I can't hear you. I mean, well, like really faintly.
I can hear myself decently. I mean, it's not great.
Hey Wampus Cat fans, David Grimes here. I'm a big fan and a proud member of the Wampus Cat Booster Club. And now is a great time to join the Booster Club.
Yeah, you're getting it from that extension cord, which is going down.
Should we try plugging into?
Okay, so you can hear me. Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Test, 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 test.
So are you thinking we should try a different power
Test,
source
test,
up here?
test, test.
Hi, and welcome to the regular season closing game. Tonight, Bryant will host your Conway Wampus Cats. I'm Jeff Matthews, joined by Coach Fimple. We will look ahead to the Bryant game in just a moment and talk about the playoff seedings and all of that and how it's going to shake out. But first, let's go back to senior night, Coach. Your first group of seniors, and they went out with a bang.
I tell you, we had a great week of practice, laser focused all week long. And, I think the game itself was a reflection of there's just the leadership the seniors showed all week long, and what they wanted to do, and even talking before the game during pregame. You could tell we're going to be all right. And again, a good game for us, not a whole lot of mistakes. It got some turnovers, changed the game around with that, and it worked out real well for them. Proud of them.
From a satisfaction standpoint, I would think it really couldn't have played out much better. You get a big win, and what I mean by that is that you've got 36 senior players that get introduced. Not all of them get to play, but they did.
Oh, yeah.
In that situation.
Scripted like a movie.
Yeah.
You got to play everybody. Everybody got in the game. And really wasn't a letdown. We moved the ball with the other guys that came in. We played well on defense with the guys that came in. And again, that kind of goes back to what we did at the first of the year non-conference-wise. We're playing 17, 19 guys on defense.
Yeah.
We're finding people where they need to be at, because every week in this conference, you got to, even on offense, you might go 4 wideouts and have to have that fourth guy, and then there's sometimes you'll be 2 tight ends. And on defense, it's to being able to adjust to those and having those people ready with a little bit of experience helps out tremendously.
The playoffs, in essence, begin with this game.
Yes.
It's 2 or 3 seed, and there's huge differences in those. Obviously, then we'll move into the playoffs.
Big thing this week, talked with the staff and all the coaches, we all agreed, it's hard to fool kids, but we're not going to talk about it. We understand the process that we want to do, and we treat every game the same. But again, a lot of places I've been, they treat this one right here as a playoff game. But with our kids and the leadership that we have, we thought, hey, let's just do this. We're going to maintain our same pattern. We're going to talk about the things that we want to talk about afterwards, and let it go from there.
What are we looking for from Bryant? Obviously,
I tell you, very talented bunch. Known the coaching staff over there for a long time. Enjoy watching them play when we get scout films from them and seeing what's going on there. Very athletic. Both defensive and offensive lines are big keys for them. Tremendous size and ability athletically. I just had the kid, offered from Arkansas, and being a junior, the linebacker core. So you're looking at a very talented bunch, very competitive, and have a great staff in behind that. So again, we have to combat all those things as we're going into it.
All right, we'll kick it off next. We're excited, Coach. I know you are too. Conway and Bryant coming up. It's the game for the number 2 seed versus the number 3 seed, and we'll tell you more about that as we get into the broadcast on Conway Corp Channel 5.
At Conway Regional, every day brings new challenges and celebrations. And one of those celebrations is being named the #1 hospital in Central Arkansas for overall hospital care. While we're proud of our awards, our team is driven by something more. You. You're our #1. And for us, that's the #1 worth celebrating. One team, one promise. Conway Regional. At Conway Regional, every day brings new challenges and celebrations. And one of those celebrations is being named the #1 hospital in the state for orthopedic care. While we're proud of our awards, our team is driven by something more. You. You're our #1. And for us, that's the #1 worth celebrating. One team, one promise. Conway Regional.
Welcome to Hornet Stadium on the campus of Bryant High School. Tonight, Conway on the road at Bryant, and a huge matchup tonight. Jeff Matthews along with Levi Gilbert and our entire Channel 5 crew, glad to be back in Bryant, the scene of our first live broadcast 4 years ago, Levi, and we're thrilled to be back tonight in what promises to be a great football game.
Yeah, and you got to love the simplicity of a not like tonight. Win, you're the 2. Lose, you're the 3. That's it. That's as simple as it gets. You're not relying on somebody else to win or lose.
By a certain number of points or any of that.
It's all really clear cut tonight for the Conway Wampus Cats.
The head coach for Bryant actually in today's Democrat Gazette talked about just that. He said, we're not, no bones about it. We want the number 2 seed. And the number 2 seed means a week off next week, But more importantly, it means you're opposite of the best team in the state, and that's North Little Rock. If you have to go through North Little Rock to win a state title, whoever wins this game tonight can avoid them until War Memorial Stadium.
And we know a lot about that from a year ago.
That's right. They're not fun to play on the Black Friday.
No,
so
they are not.
There's a lot to play for. We're excited about it. We do want to let you know as we get started here, we are aware of some possible minor audio issues. And so if you're having trouble hearing us, or if there's anything about that that's making the broadcast difficult for you, just know that we are aware. We're definitely working on it. And let us know through whatever means you have if we can make things better for you. But we're excited to be here. We're in the press box tonight. Last couple of times we were here, we were on top of the press box.
I know.
So
I'm happy about that.
We are inside tonight on what is a very, very cool Friday night for high school football. Levi, as we're waiting for the Wampus Cats to come on the field, your concerns about tonight's game?
I usually try to have at least 3, right? And that usually means I have like 5 or 6, but I whittle it down to 3. But I'm keeping it simple tonight. Just one concern if you're the Conway Wampus Cats, and that's you have got to play your most complete game of the year in all 3 phases if you're going to come into Bryant and walk away with a win in that 2 seed. It's as simple as that. Passing game has to be on. Running game has to be on. Your defense, you're going to have to come up with turnovers. And we're going to need some big plays on special teams if we're going to beat the Bryant Hornets.
These Bryant Hornets are 7-2 this year, 5-1 in the conference. That one lone conference loss a week ago at North Little Rock, they had the Charging Wildcats on the ropes, up 21-0 at North Little Rock, and the Charging Wildcats came all the way back and got the win. I do want to tell you about something before we get started here. Kind of a tale of the tape. You know, whenever you see 2 boxers, you see that you got their stats lined up there next to each other. Well, there's a tale of the tape when it comes to the starting quarterbacks for tonight's game. Giovanni Johnson for the Wampus Cats and Ren Heffley for the Bryant Hornets. Both of them are seniors. Both of them are spectacular when it comes to their education. Both have grade point averages well over 4. Both are in their 30s on the ACTs. Both are going to get the chance to play college football at a big school and preferred walk-on opportunities that both have been offered, but also in schools like Ivy League schools that are interested in these 2 young men coming and playing football. They are spectacular young men, great leaders of their schools and their community, and also very, very talented quarterbacks on the football field. We are about set to get underway, and Bryant is going to kick off. Grayson Scholes handles the kickoff duties for the Bryant Hornets. Luke Bailey, Bryce Bohannon, and Shane Smith deep to receive for the Wampus Cats, and we are ready to go tonight. The winner gets next week off. The loser most likely at home against Van Buren. Definitely at home, but most likely Van Buren would be the opponent, the 6th seed out of the 7A West. It'll all get figured out tonight. Luke Bailey with the opening return, brought down by Rodrigo Martin. And we are set for the Wampus Cat offense, 1st and 10. Coach Fimple yesterday said that we may see some different looks offensively, and we are going to see a different look offensively right off the bat. 5 wideouts for the Wampus Cats that include Luke Williams, Shane Smith, Bryce Bohannon, Will McKenna, and Nick Richmond. The 5 receivers for Giovanni Johnson, who sets up behind his offensive line. It'll be a run. Not a lot going on. It will be 2nd down.
You expect Conway to stick with the ground game as much as possible tonight. Maybe try and shorten this game a little bit, keep the ball away from Bryant as much as possible. But it's going to be a tough task with that front 7 for the Bryant Hornets.
Nate Wallace made the stop there. He, along with Kawan Robinson, Kyle Green, and Austin Bailey, those are the 4 that you see down front, matched up against our offensive linemen, L.J. Hansberry, Lance Rogers, Zal Vences, Robert Scott, and Hayes Denton. Giovanni looks to throw. Looking to the near side, off the fingertips of Bryce Bohannon. It's incomplete. Coverage by Andrew Hayes, and the Wampus Cats are facing 3rd down early on. Third and 11 for the Wampus Cats. It has been 4 years. That first game that we did here live since the Wampus Cats have knocked off these Hornets.
I think most people would say it's been too long.
It has been too long. Slade Smith comes in tight. Giovanni to throw. He's got time. Now he'll run. Try to use the legs to get the first down. He dives to the 29. It will be short of the first down. Giovanni tried to make something happen, but instead the Cats left to punt the football away.
Giovanni making things exciting. I don't know. He kept that play along a good 5 to 10 seconds longer than it probably should have.
Talked about the tail of the tape of these two quarterbacks. They're even in so many ways, but when it comes to using their legs, Giovanni Johnson definitely has the advantage there. 17 rushing touchdowns this year. Ren Heffley's gotten in the end zone 3 times by the run. Nick McEwen has not punted much the last couple of weeks against Central and against Catholic, but gets a good foot into it there, and it's down to the 41-yard line, and that's where the Hornets will take over first and 10. They are led by Ren Heffley, their senior quarterback. Latavian Scott is their dynamic running back, and they are big, very big up front. 280, 255, 285, 275, and 290 across the front. 4 seniors and a junior are their offensive line, and our defensive line will be lined up across from them. Tony Pasalacqua, Corlin McKinney, and that's Latavian Scott. The first play of the game is a pitch, and he is pushed out of bounds after a short gain. Reed Hughes is over there on the tackle. Kane Aaron, Tez Miller, Parker Prock back to wear number 45 tonight after wearing 31 a week ago in honor of his injured teammate Riley White. Randy Thomas is on the field, number 9, near side. He was set to be a receiver for these Bryant Hornets in the offseason and transferred to Conway and has been a good corner for the Cats all year long. Second down, Heffley throws. Complete to midfield. Catch is made by Jake Metters, 5'10 junior, holding a 73-yard touchdown pass a week ago against North Little Rock, and gets really close to a first down there. Third down and a yard.
Talked about Thomas. You can see him there in the bottom left of your screen. You just know that he's going to want to make some big plays tonight.
Number 9, Randy Thomas, Levi talking about there. So Latavian Scott gets wrapped up by Corlin McKinney, and they're going to give him a favorable spot, enough for a first down, so the Hornets will move the chains. First down.
I got to meet Corlin McKinney this past week. Yeah.
Great kid.
Yeah, met him at church. He was in the kids area.
Okay.
I don't know if he had been helping with the kids or what.
Yeah.
But a quick handshake. Very much quick like everything else about him on the field.
That's right. Yeah, Corlin, a great, great young man. All right, first and 10. First offensive drive of the night for the Hornets. Heffley throws. Pass is complete. Catch made by Metters. Malik Benton is back tonight, and he was in on the stop there. Roman Aaron joins Malik as the safeties. Malik has missed the past couple of games following that injury on the special teams play, but he is back tonight. First and 10 now for the Hornets as they pick up a second first down.
Yeah, Malik's missed a few games, still leads the team with 3 interceptions.
Scott. He left Ren Heffley alone in the backfield and then runs the route and gets the catch. Randy Thomas gets him out of bounds at second down.
Good read by Thomas, making sure he got there quick. Good solid tackle.
8:25 to play. You see it on the screen in front of you. We appreciate you watching tonight. Big game, Week 10. Winner moves on to the second round of the state playoffs. Loser plays next week, most likely against Van Buren. On the ground, that's Scott. Good balance out to the 30-yard line. Malik Benton comes in and slows him down. It'll be third down.
I feel like I have bad memories about Latavian Scott. Did he do some bad things to us a year ago? When I hear you say Scott, it just makes me cringe a little bit.
No, I don't remember. Honestly, it was a kind of a busy week. I did not go back and look at last year's game. Scott there doing bad things to us. Crosses the 25-yard line. Moving chain again, first and 10.
You and I were talking about it this week that, North Little Rock and Bryant, they both had just a string of really good years, and we kind of agree that they're due for some down years, I mean,
Right.
they just keep producing athletes. Makes it tough to be a Conway Wampus Cat fan.
Heffley. Hands off to Scott. Latavian Scott inside the 5. Breaks free into the end zone. Latavian Scott, a 24-yard touchdown run. And the Hornets strike first.
Scott made an amazing cut right at the line of scrimmage to get past one defender. Then just rammed his way the rest of the way to the end zone.
Scholes will attempt the extra point. Grayson Scholes, junior kicker. Off the upright, it's no good, so our score is 6-0. Conway is on the short end of that score, and they'll get the football when we come back. 30 seconds. Let's just take 30 seconds. What do you say? Let's not take 30 minutes. 30 seconds, and we're back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
At Conway Regional, every day brings new challenges and celebrations. And one of those celebrations is being named the #1 hospital in Central Arkansas for overall hospital care. While we're proud of our awards, our team is driven by something more. You. You're our #1. And for us, that's the #1 worth celebrating. One team, one promise. Conway Regional.
So the Hornets took the ball and went right down the field, scored first points of the night. Extra point is no good. Sometimes things like that can loom very, very big. We'll see if it does as the night goes on. As always, we love to hear from you when you're watching live on Friday nights. 5 Sports Live is where you find us on Twitter, on Facebook as well. The live chat's up on YouTube if you choose to contact us there, but we love hearing from you, and we know folks are already checking in on Twitter. We thank you.
Yeah, TM Pickram already checking in. Ellen Turney asking us to bring home a win.
Could do that.
We're doing our best.
Good return. That's the man you want to return the football. Nice. Shane Smith takes the ball out to about the 27-yard line. First and 10 there for the Cats.
Brandy Jones checking in on Twitter. Good luck tonight, Cats. We are watching live here in Bryant instead of Salt Lake City tonight. So
Okay, yes.
they're here to root for Coach Pankey and the Wampus Cats.
Nice.
Nate Turner says, let's go Cats. Nate was a part of the team that last beat Bryant, so he knows what it feels like.
That is true. He was a sophomore on that team?
I think
Is that right?
sophomore or
He'll-
junior.
Nate, what were you? Tweet at us. Sophomore, junior in 14. Has he been gone 2 years?
I think
No,
this
this
is
is just
the
his
third
first year.
I think.
Yeah. On the ground. First time we've seen the running back called tonight. Kerry McLean went
Jeff-
over the 1,000-yard mark last week.
I know we talked about this last time we saw these LED down and distance markers.
Yeah.
But man, they are popping tonight. I'm sure it looks great on TV too. It's helpful, very helpful for us people with poor vision.
What is not helping is the gravy that's been rubbed on the press box window here in front of us. Kind of tough to see through all that. Incomplete pass. It will be third down.
Giovanni missing a open Bryce Bohannon. Bryce coming into tonight 183 total yards away from 1,000 all-purpose yards
Wow.
on the season. And the only reason I wrote that down, it's quite a long way away from it, but I feel like he could maybe do that on any given night.
Third down. Designed run, Giovanni Johnson. Dives forward to the 37, maybe the 38. Let's see where the mark is. See if they change that LED to a 1.
It's close.
It's very close, and they're going to bring the chains out. Cats have yet to pick up a first down tonight.
There is some Conway fans who are not particularly happy with the spot.
See where that spot ended up. It will be fourth down. You see it there from our sideline camera, just a couple of links of the chain short. So a decision here for Coach Fimple. And the decision is going to be the field position game.
And you can see some of the players coming off a little visibly upset with the decision.
Nick McEwen will be on to punt. Reed Hughes handles the deep snapping. And the Cats still looking for their first down of the night. Metters deep to receive the punt. Spiraling punt and a good one. Metters takes it at the 21-yard line. How about Reed Hughes? He snaps the ball, he gets down the field, he makes the tackle. Great stop. So flip the field over, down to the 21 is where the Hornets will have the ball first and 10. And this Hornet program has had some unbelievable success. This group of seniors, if you take just their 3 years, they're 26-8. 26-8 over their 3 years, tied with Fayetteville for the second best record for this group of seniors. So in the past 3 years, Fayetteville and Bryant are the two schools that have the second best records. Obviously, the school with the best record these last 3 years is who beat Bryant last week, North Little Rock. Their seniors have gone 34-1 up to week 10 of their senior year.
It's just absurd.
Yeah, no, they've been impressive. 8 yards on the run for Latavian Scott. Second down and 2. Scott again. Met in the backfield and slowed down. Fights his way forward to the 31. Brandon Graham in there on the stop. Tez Miller and Parker Prock had him low. And it will be first down. So move the chains for the Hornets.
Talked about Reed Hughes making that play off the punt. Came into this game 2 tackles away from 100 tackles on the year.
And he is just outside of the top 10 in the state when it comes to tackles. He's about 13. First and 10 Hornets. Oh, look at Corlin McKinney. Got to him quick. Made him make a pass he maybe didn't want to make, so it's second and 10.
Yeah, the whole point of a screen pass like that is you got to get it out of there quick. Because those offensive line, they're just letting people by them because they're getting out ready to block.
Right.
But Corlin McKinney, he's just too fast.
And Corlin McKinney is 5'10", 225, and he's that fast. Second down and 10. 4 wideouts and Scott in the backfield with Heffley. Heffley will roll left and throw. Pass is complete. Good job by Randy Thomas there in the coverage. Catch was made by Josh Robinson. And it will be third down.
Yeah, I don't think you could have played that any tighter if you were Randy Thomas. Did a great job of getting there, getting that hand in there.
And we need to hear this sizable Wampus Cat crowd come to life here in front of us. It's a big play. Third down and 3, the first money down this Cat defense has faced. Pitch to Scott. Runs into his own man, and we'll get the first down. Out to the 46, first and 10 Hornets.
Goodness, you saw the strength of Scott there as he stiff-armed his own fullback or lineman. I'm not sure who it was. Pushed him about a good 3 or 4 yards out in front of him.
He passed the 1,000-yard mark a couple of weeks ago. Picked up 82 yards last week against North Little Rock. He's at 1,083 coming into tonight and has added to that. Here's the backup running back. Gets to the 45-yard line. That's Ahmad Adams, two-way player. Ahmad will take some time on defense as well at linebacker. 5'10", 220-pound senior, number 35. Hornets on top, 6-0. We're 8 minutes into the game. Flag on the play. The official is just to the right of our camera operators there, but he's facing the other direction, of course, since we're in the visiting press box. It was against the Hornets, so they'll back up to almost midfield, second down. Big games all around the state. There is one game that's already finished as Central and Catholic played last night. We'll run down all the halftime scores for you to keep an eye on it as we go through the second half of the game. So we start to look forward to the playoffs starting next week. Adams. Good open field tackle there. Down along the line of scrimmage was Malik Benton coming up from his safety spot, and it's 3rd and long.
Can see the angles of these linebackers getting better here in this second possession for Bryant. Great example on a play like that as they just keep stringing him out.
3rd down and 6. These two teams had the exact same scenario a year ago. Winner got the 2, loser got the 3, and Bryant came to our place and got the better of us. Huge hit! How about Tommy Grady? Wow! Catch was made, but Grady said, no, sir, you will not get another yard. And it's 4th down.
Grady playing with incredible speed.
15th tackle on the season for Grady. 4th down and a yard. Bryant will go for it. Hand off to Scott. He'll spin out of a tackle. Move the chains for the Hornets.
Bryant elects to go for it on 4th and short. Little bit different scenario as they're on their side of the field.
Corlin McKinney's helmet pops off, so he'll have to sit out of play. Jalen McEwen takes his spot right above the football. 1st and 10. Not much happening that time for Latavian Scott. Give Reed Hughes the stop.
This first quarter just ticking away. Conway's only had the ball for 6 snaps.
That's right. Second down and 8. We already played 10 minutes of this first quarter. 2 minutes to go. Quarterback keep. Flag comes in, and so does Reed Hughes. Reed Hughes caught up with Ren Heffley right at the 40-yard line. It'll be a loss on the play, but we'll check the flag.
And he may have had a tackle earlier that I didn't catch, but that definitely was at least his second tackle of the night.
Yep.
So he's over 100, and if that's what you get with your 100th tackle is a sack, I like it.
You can see the official was looking, he's looking this direction, obviously, which means he's looking at Coach Fimple to ask what Coach wants to do because the penalty is going to be against the Hornets. So there was a loss on the play. They'll make the call. Holding will be declined. And so the loss on the play puts the ball back at the 39, almost the 40-yard line. So it's 3rd down.
So the question there is, do you want a 3rd and 11, or do you want a 2 and 16 or 18 or whatever it could have been?
Scott in motion. Heffley by himself. Throws over the middle. He's got a man. That man did not make the catch. Grant Bodie, the intended receiver, he pulls it in and steps into the end zone, but instead it's incomplete, and it's 4th and 11.
Another interesting call here for Bryant because it is 4th and long, but try and pin him deep here.
Austin Ledbetter on to punt. He is a sophomore. A rugby style kick that takes a bounce and Sure appeared to go into the end zone, and it did. So it's a touchback, and the Wampus Cats will have the ball 1st and 10, and Levi looking for something positive to happen on offense.
Yeah, you just got to get a first down.
First down,
That's
yes.
the first goal here is let's just get a first down. And we know this offense can roll. We've seen it happen. We've also seen them have quarters like this where they couldn't convert a first down the entire quarter. So if you're the Wampus Cats right now, that's your mini goal coming out. Let's just get a first down, and we'll see what happens.
Once again, this different look for the Cats as there are 5 wideouts, including Luke Williams in the game, number 19. He along with Shane Smith. And then the three receivers we're used to seeing. Bryce Bohannon, Will McKinnon, Nick Richmond are near us. Johnson stands up tall, rolls and throws. Luke Williams was the intended receiver, but felt like that was kind of falling apart from the beginning. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, it's a tough task for this offensive line tonight because those down linemen for Bryant, they're just always a handful every year.
Every year, you're right.
And it's hard to keep them at bay for very long.
2nd and 10. Giovanni will run. To the 27. Brought down by Jake Wright. We approach the 1-minute mark here of the first quarter. Cats are facing a 3rd and 2. Conway still without a first down conversion. And just their 9th play offensively here in the first quarter. Empty backfield for Giovanni Johnson. He'll run. Out to the 32-yard line, move the chains. It's a Conway Regional Health System first down, and it took 11 and a half minutes for the Cats to get one tonight.
All right, mini goal achieved.
What's your next mini goal?
Score. It's not mini anymore.
It.
Yeah.
Nope, go straight to it.
Yeah. We got the first down. Now let's go score. Or let's complete a pass. That'd be another mini goal here.
We talked about how big their offensive line is. Their defensive line is enormous also. Number 88, you see standing there, was offered a scholarship by the Razorbacks last week. Contrell Wallace. Passes complete. Nope, out of bounds. Yeah, 88, Contrell Wallace on October 27th was offered by the Hogs. He's 6'6", 215, just a junior. But then the guys along the defensive front go 260, 300, 250, 255. They're big, bigger.
We'll give some credit to Kerry McLean because he did a good job, good enough job of getting in his way. That would have been a big sack.
2nd and 10. Johnson will run. Wallace brings him down and pops his helmet off at the 34-yard line. Now the clock stopped with 9 seconds, because the helmet popped off. And so Nick McEwen's going to have to come in and take the play, or the Cats will have to burn a timeout. I don't believe they'll start the clock. And they will. So the clock will run out. I'm not sure how that rule works, though, even between the quarter break, if Giovanni can take the next snap or what's going to happen. But it will be in the second quarter. All right, we have played one quarter, all Bryant so far, but they're just up 6. It just feels like they're up by more than 6 right now. 6-0, Bryant on top. We'll take 60 seconds and come back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
Hey Wampus Cat fans, David Grimes here. I'm a big fan and a proud member of the Wampus Cat Booster Club. And now is a great time to join the Booster Club. Booster Club members get to vote to help induct the class into the new Wampus Cat Sports Hall of Fame. To find out how you can join, go to ConwayWampusCats.com and click on Inside Athletics. Believe me, there's never been a better time to join the Conway Booster Club.
As we celebrate our 20th anniversary, all of us at Legacy Fencing want to thank you, the citizens of Conway and Faulkner County, for making us your favorite fencing company. Our goals remain unchanged, to provide fencing based on its longevity in years and not solely on the price per foot. We do one fence at a time at a competitive price. For 20 years now, Legacy Fencing has been turning first-time customers into returning customers. That's the Legacy difference.
About to start the second quarter from Bryant tonight. The Wampus Cats are trailing 6-0. Lots of folks watching online tonight, and we appreciate everyone that is. Cameron Porras checking in from New York City, watching the Wampus Cats tonight. I know our buddy Hart Denton that we got to meet last week, the Riverdale actor who's from Conway, brother of Hayes Denton, the right tackle for the Cats. He said a bunch of his buddies get together in Los Angeles and grill on Friday nights and watch these Wampus Cats. And going to need some more cheering from coast to coast. Get these Cats back on track. It's fourth down. The third down pass incomplete.
Yeah, hasn't been much to cheer for.
There's not.
Here in the first quarter, now heading into the second, as Conway has converted one first down here in the first half. They've struggled to move the ball. Good news is, the last time we saw them struggle this much in the first quarter, their second quarter was amazing.
Right?
That was against North Little Rock way
Yeah.
back in week 6. Their third and fourth quarter is not so amazing. We won't talk about that, but going to have to get a big stop here from the defense, maybe make some things happen on special teams here.
McEwen, another good punt. And it's worth mentioning, it's been touched. It's a live ball. Metters touched it, and Reed Hughes was down there to make sure he didn't do anything with it. 23-yard line, 1st and 10. It's worth mentioning, again, think back to our last 2 games. I'd have to look back, but I think Nick punted once. I don't think he did at all at Central, and then maybe once last week against Catholic, or maybe vice versa. But I really don't think there's been more than 1 or 2 punts the last 2 weeks.
Hasn't been much need for punting.
Right. And so already tonight we've seen the need for him, and he has done a very nice job.
Some of his best punts of the year so
Tonight?
far, yeah.
Oh, without a question, yeah. Good, long, spiraling punts. That's Scott. Kane Aaron. Corlin McKinney teaming up to make the stop. No gain. It's 2nd and 10.
I think I'd take that duo. Whatever we're playing, I don't care.
Whatever sport.
Lawn darts. I want Corlin and Aaron.
Pep Band is here tonight. They sound great just down to our left.
The stands are full.
The stands are absolutely full, yes. Heffley looks to throw. He's got a man. Incomplete. Second time tonight that a receiver, and that time it's the sophomore River Gregory that they're very high on. Second time tonight that a Hornet receiver has gotten space. And Heffley's pass just missed him. And so it's 3rd down and 10. Cats will take any breaks they can get. That's a couple that would have both been for scores had they been caught.
Definitely seen some of the nerves of the occasion. Such a big game for both of these teams.
3rd down and 10. Heffley goes through his progressions. Now will throw. Complete to Latavian Scott, but he's pushed out of bounds well before the 1st down marker, and so the Wampus Cat defense did exactly what you said, Levi.
Yep. Nice quick stop. Give your offense a chance to do something here. Odds are you're going to have great field position. See what the punt looks like to Bryce. Love to see Bryce break free for big return here.
Austin Ledbetter will punt. His first punt went into the end zone. This one should be recovered by Bryce Bohannon. It's going to bounce straight up in the air. Takes a pretty decent Bryant bounce, so unable to be returned. But the Cats defense gets the Cats offense back on the field. 1st and 10 for Conway, and we have seen these different looks, these 5 receiver looks, all these different sets. I almost kind of want them to go back to the other sets.
Right, let's go back to our old comfort
Look at
level.
that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Man, that is what you get in week 10. I like that.
Creativity hasn't stopped here in week 10.
Not at all.
You think that was just left over from senior night a
Maybe.
week ago?
Yeah, could have been. Could have been. All right, 1st and 10 Cats. Kerry McLean behind Giovanni Johnson on the ground. There we go. Carry out to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, hand it off to Kerry. It's like my comfort blanket. Is that a word?
It is.
Is that the phrase I'm looking for? My
comfort. Your binky?
Yeah, just good old faithful there.
You know what I love is that we've got people from New York to Los Angeles that are listening, and they're hearing us talk about comfort blankets and binkies as they watch Wampus Cat football.
I came prepared tonight. I brought my beanie in case we were outside. Don't need it.
Giovanni. And there's just nowhere to go. It's 3rd down. Jacob Neal on the stop. Number 37 is who made that tackle, and he's an interesting story. He was the leading tackler for this team as both a sophomore and a junior. Number 37 we're talking about there on the left-hand side of the screen. But he tore an ACL and had missed most of the season until just a week ago, and is now back and is working his way slowly back into the starting lineup. But that's an all-state performer that they have added to this defense. Complete to Bryce Bohannon. Bryce battles forward, give him some forward progress, and they do out to the 46-yard line. That should be enough to move the chains, and it is a Conway Regional Health System 1st down.
You've talked about the wrinkles we've already seen tonight, just the different formations. Even that, a new little wrinkle there. I don't know if you saw Bryce, what he did is he kind of made it look like he didn't know what was going on. Like he just kind of took a step forward, but then just kind of stopped and turned to his right, and then went off in the flats and was wide open. Got that catch and made a move to make something happen. We're seeing these wrinkles all over the field here in Week 10.
5-receiver set, but it's a run. I don't know that they've thrown yet out of the 5-receiver set.
Well, they've tried.
Okay.
There's
That's
been some
true.
incompletions.
Yeah.
Mostly been running. Giovanni's been running for his life when he was trying to pass, or running design runs like that we just saw.
Couple more yards for Giovanni Johnson. Came in with over 600 yards rushing through the first 9 games. 2nd down and 8. 8:41 to play. The clock running there on your screen as we approach halftime. Giovanni Johnson throws. Pass was too high for Nick Richmond. It was tipped, almost intercepted, then almost caught by Bryce Bohannon. But if Giovanni takes a little bit off that, Nick Richmond ran a good route. I think he could have made the catch and picked up some yards after the catch.
Talked about Bryce's milestone number earlier. Giovanni, 192 total yards away from 2,000 total yards on the season. A milestone to watch for him tonight.
3rd down and 8. Johnson pressured, flag, and he'll be dropped at the 40-yard line. Bailey gets the stop. It's Austin Bailey. And we'll see what the flag is. Appears to be against Conway.
It's just running these long drops, these plays where it's taking a while to let the play develop. It's going to be.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough task.
I
Call
said
this against Bryant.
it appears to be against Conway, but I appear to be wrong. That was against Bryant. It was a face mask.
What I was trying to say is it's going to be hard for this offense to run these deep routes because it just takes too long for them to develop. This front four by itself is just getting to Giovanni a little bit too quickly.
Well, and they're as good as they come in the state. Kawan Robinson, number 99, is a senior. He's 6'2", 300. You see him
I
there
remember
with his
that name.
hands on his hips. He had a huge game against us last year. Nate Wallace, number 32, is 6'2", 260. Austin Bailey, who made the stop a couple of plays back, 6'2", 250. They're just very, very big. 3rd down and less than a yard following the face mask penalty.
And they're still talking about it out there. They set the ball, or at least moved to where they were going to set it. I don't think they've actually put it on the ground. Well, yeah, it is on the ground. But they're still talking about it. It's like
Should
they're not
we
sure.
be calling Brooks Smith for this?
We might need to.
I guess I thought that a personal foul resulted in an automatic first down, but I would assume I'm wrong. Kerry McLean, love to see it. There's your horse right there. Crosses the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Wampus Cats. Moved the chains. Over 1,000 yards on the ground this year for Kerry McLean. Getting a chance here on this drive.
Old Faithful. That's what I'm going to keep calling him.
I like it. Cats trailing 6-0. The winner gets the 2 seed from the 7A Central. That means a week off and opposite North Little Rock in the state playoffs. Giovanni looking for Will McKenna. No flags thrown. Some contact between both of the players.
Yeah, a lot of contact. I think the officials arguing that it was going both ways there.
But you're right. That's really going to have to be. It feels like it's going to be plays like that. Just quick drop, quick couple of steps back, put the ball out. Will McKenna has obviously been the king of catching balls like that. 6'1", 185, long arms, can go up and get it. 2nd and 10. Johnson will run. Jacob Neal makes the stop on Giovanni Johnson. It's 3rd down.
A little uncomfortable with all the shots that Giovanni has taken already here in the first half. No matter what happens here tonight, there's still a lot of football left to play this season.
That's right.
You hope.
$7:20 to play, first half. Cats facing 3rd and 7 in Bryant territory. Receivers stacked to the top. That's McKenna and Richmond. Play clock ran down to 0. I don't know if they got a timeout called or what. And they did. So we'll take it with them. 7:02 to play in the first half. Cats are trailing 6-0. 30 seconds and we're back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
This is my home. And here's my hot water heater, located right above my living room. And here's the mess it made when it leaked. Really leaked. Kind of throws off the ambiance, don't you think? Well, I stayed calm and called the experts at All Clean Restoration. So here it is, my living room before the water damage and my living room after. Or as I like to think, my living room before All Clean, my living room after All Clean. All Clean Restoration, proudly serving all of Arkansas.
So a quick timeout called. Cats needed it. The play clock was down to, well, 0. So I'm glad they used the timeout, didn't lose the yards, because it's already 3rd and 7. Will Hogue getting stretched out there. Hopefully he'll get a chance to kick an extra point here sooner than later. 5 wideouts, 4 to the top, 1 to the near side. That's Shane Smith closest to us. 3rd down and 7. It's going to be 4th down. Nate Wallace leads the way defensively for the Hornets.
They've had very minimal success with these design runs tonight with Giovanni, and when they have had it, it's been in shorter yardage situations. Just not sure that the down and distance there is tough.
Yeah. Well, and we've seen success with McLean running the ball. Picked up 3-4 yards at a time. It's 4th and 7. Cats are going to go for it. A pass. Giovanni throws.
That's early contact right there. Here it comes.
Flag comes in. It'll be pass interference. Giovanni did a nice job getting away from the pressure. His offensive line, and they have got their hands full tonight. They gave him just the amount of time that he needed. Will McKenna got to the point he was in front of the defender.
And it was bang bang, but it was definitely Bryant defender definitely there a little bit early.
Pass interference against the Hornets. So the Cats will have it 1st and 10. So 4th and 7, having trouble picking up third downs tonight. Went for it there on 4th. Got a little help from the aggressive defender and moved the chains.
Well, it's kind of what I was talking about with Bryant's last possession is similar situation on the field, similar spot.
Yes.
You know, the odds are you're going to kick it out of the end zone and have a touchback, so why not go for it and see what happens? And if you don't get it, it's probably about the same distance anyway that a punt would have been.
1st and 10, power set to the right with Nick Tufu and Slade Smith. Kerry McLean to the 20-yard line. Jake Wright gets the tackle for the Bryant Hornets. We have passed the halfway mark of the second quarter. Cats driving.
Heavy set comes off the field, light set back on.
Yep. 5 wideouts, 4 to the top of the screen. Shane Smith by himself to the near side. We'll see if they run out of it again. Instead of pass, a quick pass, complete. Bryce Bohannon steps in front of Jacob Keel. Just inside the 15-yard line. And it is 3rd down. Neal on the stop. That senior we were talking about earlier was their leading tackler his sophomore and junior years.
You've got so many talented weapons at receiver. Players that can make people miss. Why not go to those short routes, get them the ball quickly, let them do something out in space.
On the ground, Kerry McLean. Cottrell Wallace got him up high. Knocked him down at about the 14-yard line, and it is going to be 4th down. Wallace, the defender that made the stop, is the gentleman, and I'll call him a gentleman because he's 6'6", 215. That was offered by the Hogs last week. Just a junior. So on 4th down, it'll be an opportunity for Will Hogue to come out, attempt a 31-yard field goal to try to cut this lead to 3. Reed Hughes snaps and Nick McEwen holds. Will Hogue's field goal attempt is good. Lead cut in half. Bryant 6, Conway 3 with 4:06 to play in the second quarter. We'll take 30 seconds and come back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
Centennial Bank builds relationships. That's why our bankers roll up their sleeves to support Conway and Faulkner County. They are folks you know and value for mortgages, business loans, and all your personal banking needs. Community involvement and exceptional service from people you know. That's the Centennial Bank way. Centennial Bank's legacy started right here in Conway and is still growing. Centennial Bank, building legacies, one relationship at a time.
So the Cats are on the board. They kick a field goal. Will Hogue. Did you like that?
Yeah, I did.
Will Hogue.
With Hogue.
Will Hogue with the. I want these guys that are in New York and LA listening to think, man, that guy.
Hey, we do have someone out in New York.
John Spirtolozzi, yeah.
John S., as I call him, because I
know you do.
Still am not confident in how to say that name. Oh.
All right, so the kick taken inside the 10-yard line, and he was on his knees when he did so, and so plays dead there. Braylon Butler. And so the Wampus Cat defense is on the field now with deep into Bryant territory.
Another good break for the Wampus Cats. Both teams really struggled to move the ball. Bryant just over 100 yards of total offense here in the first half. Both defense playing some really solid football.
Cats gave up that opening drive, first offensive drive for the Hornets, led to points, but nothing since then. Latavian Scott, man, he gets ahead of steam and is quick to the 20-yard line. First and 10.
That's tough there. Brandon Graham had the angle, just couldn't make the play. Scott, he's going to take advantage.
Yeah, he's a good one. 5'10", 201. Parker Prock makes a stop on Scott that time. Our score is 6-3, 3:44, and the clock running here in the second quarter. Cats with the 31-yard field goal by Will Hogue, cutting that lead from 6-0 to 6-3 that it is right now. Second down and 3. Ren Heffley, starting quarterback for the Bryant Hornets, a Pulaski Academy transferred a couple of years ago from PA. Heffley, lots of time. Corlin McKinney gets to him. Got him. Down at the 20-yard line. Jalen McEwen coming off the pile, as well as Kane Aaron.
Corlin getting his second sack of the year.
Big loss on the play. It's 3rd down and 9. The money down here for the Cats defense. Big play. And how about the job by the secondary there? Big time coverage on everyone that Heffley was looking for.
So far tonight, Bryant 3 for 6 on 3rd down conversions.
3rd down and 9. Heffley to throw. Looks and throws. He's got a man. Catch is made and a bunch of yards after the catch. Josh Robinson, senior, steps in front of the pass from Ren Heffley and makes his way to the 30-yard line. 1st and 10, Bryant.
It's tough because not only do you get the first down, but if you're Conway, you got to make the play to eliminate the damage done after the first down.
That's right. And with where the clock is right now, the Cats were in a good position to, if they could have got the ball back there. Pitch out to Adams. Tez Miller jumps up high and rides him down. Backup quarterback in the game for the Hornets. It's Austin Ledbetter, sophomore that handles their punting. Also the backup quarterback, and he is in the game. We'll have to keep an eye on that situation. If Ren Heffley's just on for a few plays, a design situation, or if he was banged up a little bit. 2nd down and 7. The handoff. Scott to the 20.
Yeah, you kind of wonder if Heffley got banged up on that sack a few plays back.
He stayed in and completed the pass on the next play, but keep an eye on number 1 over there. 3rd down and 2. 2 in the backfield next to Ledbetter. Whistle and a timeout will be called. So with 1:39 to go in the first half, big 3rd down play coming up for Bryant. We'll take 30 seconds and come back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
At Conway Regional, every day brings new challenges and celebrations. And one of those celebrations is being named the #1 hospital in the state for orthopedic care. While we're proud of our awards, our team is driven by something more. You. You're our #1. And for us, that's the #1 worth celebrating. One team, one promise. Conway Regional.
1:42 to play in the first half, and it's 3rd down and 2 for the Hornets. And once again, their starting quarterback, Ren Heffley, is not in the game. It's a sophomore backup, Austin Ledbetter, number 12, but he's got a couple of big running backs next to him, Latavian Scott and Ahmad Adams. We'll see if they decide to stay on the ground here at 3rd and 2. And they will. Scott falls at the 18-yard line over Jalen McEwen. Parker Pratt got him down low. Brandon Graham there as well. And it will be enough to move the chains. 1st and 10. Just a little more than 90 seconds to play in the first half. A low-scoring first half. Coming up at halftime, we'll have the Conway Regional Health System halftime show for you. Recap the first half. We'll go over the first half scores also from around the state. Pass is incomplete. Looking for Josh Robinson. Be second down and 10. We'll look at the other scores around the state and also kind of get an idea of the way the brackets are looking. Obviously now we're at that point of the season where next week the playoffs begin. There are two games that are going on tonight that the winners are one seed and the losers are the other seed.
Yeah.
Our game and then the Bentonville West Bentonville game that's going on. The winner of that is the 1 seed, the loser's the 2 seed.
That's deja vu for them again.
That's right. Latavian Scott, 18-yard touchdown run, his second of the night.
Well, this drive all comes back to that 3rd and long situation. We have a missed tackle after they get the first down. It leads to just a big gain, and then Bryant putting the bow on this drive right before the half. And by the way, they get the ball back to start the second half.
They'll go for 2. High snap. Helmet's popping off. Bryant saying he got in. It's no good. So with a minute 12 to go, the Wampus Cats keep the score 12-3 as we approach halftime. 30 seconds and we're back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
There's only one place in Arkansas to get a delicious grade A choice Chuck steak burger cooked to perfection and served with unlimited hand-cut Idaho fries. David's Burgers. Dine in or enjoy on the go with our takeout. David's Burgers is the right choice when the craving hits.
12-3 is our score as we come back live to Bryant tonight. Thank you for watching wherever you are watching tonight. Literally, folks from coast to coast. From New York all the way out to the West Coast, Los Angeles. Folks watching all over the place. And wherever you are tonight, thank you for spending Week 10 with us. Conway at Bryant. I love that this game has become our Week 10 game. It was a few years ago that it switched over from the Catholic rivalry. Kick is towards the goal line, or towards the sideline, rather.
Conway dodged a bullet there.
And maybe dealing with something there with Tez Miller, who is at the trainer's table being looked at by Jacob Walton Connor, the athletic trainer for the Wampus Cats, and doctors and training staff. Tez Miller has become a huge part of this defensive team. All right, so 68 seconds to go.
So what we're trying to figure out here is if it went out of bounds before anyone touched it, then there would be a penalty against Bryant.
The official is just to the left of our camera shot there.
And there is it looks like a flag is on the field.
And that must be what it was, that the ball went out of bounds.
But I think they might be picking it up.
Stats is saying they already called it. So now they'll step it off. All right, so the Wampus Cats get 5 more yards there. So 1st and 10 from the 38.
My only question was, did Bryant touch it before it went out of bounds?
Yeah. All right, 1st and 10 Cats. They've got 68 seconds to put some points on the board here. Really big offensive drive. Like you mentioned, Bryant is going to have the ball to begin the second half. Out to the 40. Kerry McLean on the carry. Kawan Robinson making the stop.
Coach Fimple over here on the near side getting consult with Tez Miller and the athletic trainers.
Quick pass, complete to Bryce Bohannon. Tried to break free and was unable to. Christian Kane made the stop. It's 3rd down. And the Hornets, I believe, are going to call a timeout. And they will. We'll keep it here while the teams talk it over before this third down play. Your thoughts of the first half?
Well, I mean, we've seen this story before with this Conway team. When you can't consistently move the ball and get first downs and give your defense a break, the game seems to just drag along for Wampus Cat fans. Conway just barely over 60 yards of total offense here in the first half, and you're playing a great Bryant defense, but you're going to have to find ways to create some plays.
Yeah. Well, when we've got players who can, and that's just it. How do you get the ball into the hands? Is it a jet sweep? Is it whatever it might be? I mean, I'm not the play caller for sure, but you do think you've got players who have the ability to take it to the house at any time. Find a way to get it to them. 28 seconds to go in the first half. 3rd down and 8. Giovanni Johnson brought down at the 30-yard line. Nate Wallace gets credited for the sack, and it's 4th down.
That's the risk you run with these sets, these formations with an empty backfield.
There's nobody back there to pick anybody up.
You're asking a lot of this offensive line, who's been great all year, make no mistake about it. But this front four for Bryant, they're just a different type of team that you're playing, and you're just running a lot of risk every time you go with an empty backfield.
We talked about the success that this Bryant team has had earlier, this senior group, 26-8, along with Fayetteville, the second best record in the state for this group of seniors. But the other interesting thing that I saw today, the last time that they lost to a team from Central Arkansas, so put a circle around Central Arkansas, that wasn't named North Little Rock, was when we beat them 4 years ago. It has been since then, since they've lost to anybody in this part of the state other than North Little Rock.
I think there should be a flag here, as a Bryant defender was trying to get off the field, but he did not get off the field in time.
Instead, they're calling it against the Wampus Cats.
Well, there were 12 men on the field when the ball was snapped. Yeah, I think this far side official is going to come in.
Yeah, that's what their coaches are pointing over there to say. It may have missed something there too.
Not saying there wasn't a flag against Conway. But
Right, but they definitely had an extra player on the field also. So at the very least, offsetting penalties. So it's 12-3. Again, what's at stake is the winner is the number 2 seed from the 7A Central. North Little Rock has wrapped up the 1, and they've wrapped up home field advantage throughout. There, as long as they keep winning, they will not leave Pulaski County. Loser of tonight's game will be the 3 seed, and they will play at home next week, most likely against Van Buren. A win in that game would move them along in the bracket to take on the loser of tonight's Bentonville West game. So it's
and if you're worried about that scenario, say we don't win tonight,
yes,
and we win our first home game, then we're going to Bentonville. If you're thinking, haven't I heard this story before? At least both teams have their own field now.
That
so
is
there would
true.
be no playing on a Thursday like we had to do last year.
Yeah, if whoever has to play Bentonville West will play on a Friday night. Well, they got it all sorted out, whatever it was. And Nick McEwen's punt, another good one. Yeah, you mentioned it earlier, Levi. He's had a really good night punting the ball. Comes in averaging a little over 30 yards a punt, and he's definitely increased that tonight. Just 7 seconds remaining in the first half. Cats find themselves down 12-3. Looking for one more defensive stop here, and then we'll head to the halftime locker rooms and make the adjustments that are needed. Get ready for the second half, and hopefully, we haven't called them the Cardiac Cats in a while. This was their MO though for so long.
That's
early in
true.
the
I
season.
have heard people say, "Well, these kids don't even start playing until they're down by 14 in the second half." So, holding by that standard, we're still good.
1st and 10. Ledbetter in the game. Pass is incomplete. Reed Hughes in on the coverage on Metters.
Parker Brock. Whew. He took a shot, and I think he, along with everyone here, were a little surprised that nothing
That there was no
got
flag.
called. As soon as he got up, he looked at the ref and started talking to him.
So 2 seconds to go in the first half. Again, their starting quarterback, Ren Heffley, all-state contender, is out of the game. Thrown for over 1,200 yards this year. He is not playing. We'll see if he comes back in the second half. Ledbetter throws. Big hit, and the clock is at all zeros, so we have reached halftime. Bryant leads 12-3, and we have reached the break. Time now for the Conway Regional Health System halftime show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Greg Kendrick with Conway Regional Health System. Conway Regional has been an important part of this community since 1938, providing excellent care with skill and compassion. But we're not just a hospital. Let me tell you about some of our fantastic facilities and services. Located off of College Avenue, just a few blocks down from the medical center, Conway Regional After Hours Clinic is equipped to handle a wide variety of problems for patients of all ages. If you need urgent care, and it's after work or on the weekend, the Conway Regional After Hours Clinic is open 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Conway Regional After Hours Clinic, your best option for after-hours care. Located on Robinson Avenue next to Laurel Park, the Conway Regional Rehabilitation Hospital is one of only 4 licensed inpatient rehab hospitals in the entire state. Patients are cared for by specially trained staff under the direction of an on-site physician who specializes in rehabilitation medicine. Conway Regional Rehab Hospital, your choice for comprehensive care to bring you one step closer to home. With 4 locations in Conway and Greenbrier, some with extended clinic hours, our dedicated team provides therapy services including physical, speech, and occupational therapy, aquatic therapy, cardiac rehabilitation, sports outreach, and pelvic floor rehabilitation. At Conway Regional, we are committed to providing all of our patients the highest quality of care.
All right, our score at halftime is 12-3. 12-3 is the score. Conway has got the disadvantage right now, Levi, and so going to have to be a comeback in the second half once again for these Cats.
Yeah, 185 yards of total offense for Bryant compared to just 53 for your Conway Wampus Cats. Just 40 yards rushing, a team that is built and really relies on this heavy run game. Just haven't been able to get anything going tonight. And Conway just 3 for 10 on third downs. Not able to sustain any drives tonight.
So we're going to take a break here while we have some halftime activities that are going on. And we're going to come back. When we come back, we'll look at all the halftime scores, take a look at the bracket and how it's all going to shake out as we're at halftime of these games. And then we'll come back and get ready for the third quarter here. So what we're going to do is take about 10 minutes. So this is your chance. Get up, stretch, get something to eat, drink, use the restroom, walk the dog, whatever you need to do, and reconvene back here in about 10 minutes. And we'll get ready for the second half of action tonight. Bryant and Conway, the Hornets on top 12-3 on Conway Corp Channel 5. And we welcome you back to Hornet Stadium on the campus of Bryant High School. It's Jeff and Levi with you. 12-3 is our score. Little extension of our 10-minute break there. We let everybody go to the potty. I mean, it's busy. There's a lot of stuff going on. So, plus we were doing a little bit of technical work.
Your kids are older than my kids. They still call it potty. Is that?
Yeah.
That's what my kids call it, but they're
6
and younger.
No, it's the potty.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
Daddy. No, it's not at all. All right, 12-3 is our score. But here's what we wanted to do. We want to check some scores from around the state. The other games in the 7A Central. There's only 2 other ones going on tonight because last night Catholic defeated Central 48-21. But tonight North Little Rock is playing Cabot. North Little Rock leads 14-7 at halftime, and Southside and Northside are tied at 7 at halftime there. Cabot, we're really trying to watch that and try to figure out what has to happen for them to make the playoffs, because there's a real good chance they're not going to make the playoffs, and if they don't, Mike Malham's career ends tonight.
Yeah, and we've heard some people say that even if they lose tonight, they would make the playoffs. I'm not sure that's the case, because if they lost tonight, they would be 2-5 and tied with Little Rock Catholic. But Catholic beat Cabot way back in week 4. So I assume that it was head-to-head first, then points, but I don't know. It's all confusing to me.
Well, and that's where the scenario that I heard talked about was that if Northside lost and Cabot lost, then Catholic, Northside, and Cabot would all be 2-5. So then if you took the 2 of those that had the highest point totals,
well, then Cabot would, because Northside
would be.
Because Cabot beat Northside.
But we both thought that we read that had. So anyway, it's confusing. We'll know more later. Just later.
Hey, we will definitely know next week.
We will.
Yeah.
We will.
Yeah, we'll tell you. We'll tell you
here's the other game of interest. We mentioned this earlier. It's the other game besides ours that it's very clear delineation. The winner gets 1 seed, the loser gets the other seed. Bentonville is up on Bentonville West right now. And that's the Bentonville team we saw earlier this season. Bentonville over Bentonville West right now, 17-7 at halftime. Fayetteville's on top of Harbor, 21-14. Van Buren leading Springdale, a bit of a surprise there. Van Buren leading 10-7, and then Rogers leading Rogers Heritage 14-7. Those 2 teams will not be in the playoffs. That's already been determined.
And that Van Buren Springdale game is of interest for us, because whoever loses here tonight will end up playing the loser of that game. And man, Springdale, they started 4-0, and things have certainly changed since then.
Well, and that's the other thing that's interesting about that. If Harbor loses to Fayetteville and Springdale were to lose to Van Buren, all 3 of those schools would be 3-4. And then if you start looking, it's the same situation as what we're looking at with Cabot. So all we know is that we have 2 more quarters of football to go, and we need to find a way to come back.
Yeah, and like we said at the start, and like we said throughout, it's very easy for us to know what's happening with this game. Winner gets the 2 seed, gets a week off. Loser will play next week at home. So whether that's us in Conway or Bryant here.
Right.
So that's what you're playing for, is a week off, time to rest, get a little bit more time to heal for some of the players. We've seen a few players banged up tonight for your Wampus Cats. So there's a lot to play for still in these next 2 quarters.
And potentially a very big injury on the other sideline, as Ren Heffley, the starting quarterback for Bryant, missed the better part of the second half of the second quarter, if you will, the better part of, but the last few minutes of the second quarter. And we'll see if we see number 1 back out there, or if it is the sophomore, Ledbetter, that will remain at quarterback for these Bryant Hornets. Again, thank you for watching. This is wrapping up our 18th regular season of Wampus Cat football, our first regular season of doing every game live. And thank you so much for the feedback that we've received. It has been overwhelming, the number of people who have stopped and said things that watch the games and enjoy what we do, and it's certainly why we do it, so that you can be connected to this team, and it has been a fun one to be a part of, and there's still a lot more football to play. Opening kickoff of the second half, taken by Andrew Hayes, and returned out to the 25-yard line. Jabrian Earl gets the stop. And now the Wampus Cat defense, that except for 2 drives, played really, really well in that first half. Got to see what they're capable of here. And it is going to be the sophomore. Austin Ledbetter is back in at quarterback. So as of now, The starting quarterback for Bryant is out. Handoff. And they have got a couple of big, good, strong backs. Latavian Scott quickly into the secondary.
It's really just been three, counting that now, 3 big plays has been the difference tonight for this Conway defense. They've done overall a pretty good job, but 3 just back-breaking plays and another one here to start the second half.
Big gain down to the 34-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Hornets. The backup running back is in, Ahmad Adams. 5'11", 220, a senior. Parker Prock makes the stop, move the chains again. First and 10 for Bryant. Opening drive of the third quarter. Ledbetter throws, incomplete. Pass intended for Hayden Schrader, and it's second down and 10.
It is always one of my favorite things, though, to see our student section show up with fly swatters.
For the Hornets?
For the Hornets, yes. every time, never gets old.
Second down and 10. On the ground, that's Scott. Corlin McKinney wraps him up, throws him down inside the 20-yard line. And the Hornets are facing third down. 12-3. Hornets on top. They scored on their first offensive possession. They have held the lead all night. 3rd and 5. Adams. Big, strong running back inside the 15-yard line.
He might be a smidge short.
I believe he is. Yep, the officials are putting the fists up for 4th down. So a decision here for Buck James to obviously very much in field goal range, but they have missed an extra point tonight and kind of been chasing those points and feel like they could pick up half a yard here if need be. Chance for the Wampus Cat defense. It is going to be a first down. Right down inside the 1-yard line, and it'll be first and goal for the Hornets.
So many times tonight we've seen a Conway defender be able to make contact at the line of scrimmage, but just not a good enough angle to get the tackle. These backs are strong.
Malik Benton got him low, but flipped him into the end zone. Touchdown for Latavian Scott, his 3rd of the night.
We'll see what they do here, if they just kick the extra point or if they're going to, looks like their field goal team or their PAT team is out.
18-3 is our score. They missed the opening drive extra point. Went for 2 after their second touchdown. It did not go through. And so now Scholes is on, Grayson Scholes, to attempt the extra point. That one is good. 19-3, just under 10 minutes to play in the third quarter. Back in 30 seconds on Conway Corp Channel 5.
At Conway Regional, every day brings new challenges and celebrations. And one of those celebrations is being named the #1 hospital in the state for women's health. Plus, we're the only hospital in Conway using state-of-the-art 3D mammography. While we're proud of our awards, our team is driven by something more. You. You're our #1. And for us, that's the #1 worth celebrating. One team, one promise. Conway Regional.
9:56 to play. Opening drive of the second half. Just like the Hornets' opening drive of the first half ended with points on the board. It's 19-3. So football math tells me that's a 16-point.
Still a two-score game.
Still a two-score game. Read my mind.
The largest deficit that Conway has overcome in the second half this season was 18 points, all the way back in week 1, technically week 1, our second game of the season,
right,
against Bentonville. But it starts to become a numbers game for Conway.
Good return across the 30-yard line. Decent field position to begin for the Wampus Cats. 1st and 10.
And what I mean by that is you're only going to get so many more possessions here in the second half.
That's right.
You know, you're going to have to make really all of them count if you're going to be able to come back.
Well, and as we've pointed out, their starting quarterback is out, but their starting running backs are not. And that seems to be the difference. Those guys are really better than advertised. Been impressed with them, Scott especially. All right, 1st and 10 for the Wampus Cats. Quarterback draw. Out to the 41-yard line. Enough to move the chains. The Conway Regional Health System 1st down. Hayes Denton. They're on the right-hand side along with Zal Vences. L.J. Hansberry, the starting center. Lance Rogers and Robert Scott hold down the left side.
Well, it took Conway 11 minutes to get a first down in the first half, so
quick.
Much more quickly here. It's a good sign.
Three receivers near side. Option. Giovanni will keep. Johnson crosses midfield, move the chains again. A Conway Regional Health System 1st down for your Wampus Cats to the 45-yard line.
I almost like that better than the draw plays we've seen, just because it allowed him to gain a little steam, you know, as he was going.
Here's the quarterback draw again. Into the arms of Kawan Robinson. The 300-pound arms of Kawan Robinson. His arms don't weigh that, but you know what. All right? I haven't been sleeping good. I don't know what's going on. 19-3. 600 pounds of arms. 2nd down. 2 wide receivers to the top. Johnson. Option to the near side. Giovanni steps out of bounds, passes the 40-yard line. Some of the Wampus Cat fans taking advantage of the whiteout tonight. Classy students looking good. And it's 3rd down.
We've seen that delayed draw a few times tonight. And I know that's kind of redundant, a delayed draw. But what I mean by that is it's they try and make it look like he's about to do something different, and then he cuts back to the other side and takes off. We've seen that a couple times tonight.
Johnson looks to throw and does. Bryce Bohannon pulls it down. Move the chains for the Wampus Cats. 1st and 10, Conway. Giovanni Johnson to Bryce Bohannon.
That's what you need to ignite the spark. Find a way to get the ball to your big-time playmakers. So after only, let's see, 3 first downs in the entire first half, we now have 3 first downs on this drive.
Giovanni to the right. Johnson spins inside the 25-yard line. Neal and Robinson there on the stop. Bailey there as well for Bryant. At the 23-yard line, you see Nick Tufu hustling on there, number 43. Slade Smith in the game. Tight end on the near side next to Hayes Denton. Nick Tufu steps up a little, is offering some support there on the left-hand side of the line. Giovanni Johnson to throw. Picked off. That's the senior Neal. Giovanni Johnson pressured, tried to get rid of it. As he tried to get rid of it, he was hit. Ball was floating, and Jacob Neal picked it off and returned it for a pick six. Bryant now on top 25-3.
First real mistake you've seen Giovanni make tonight. He's felt that pressure all night long, and that's just a spot where you have to take the sack even though you don't want to. I know he was trying to get rid of it.
Yeah. I think it was that second hit. It was that, he was feel like he was wrapped up, but then when he was hit as he was releasing the ball, just not able to get anything on it. Neal stepped underneath it. (26-3). Bryant takes the lead out to 23 points. We'll take 30 seconds and come back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
Protect your family from fire with Conway Corp Home Security. Install smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors that are monitored 24/7. Stay safe at home and get alerts when you're away. Plus monitoring from your mobile device anytime. We make it easy to protect the things that matter and the ones who matter most. Safety for you, powered by us.
Pick six for Jacob Neal, and the extra point up and good by Scholes. And the Hornets extend the lead out to 26-3. Well, needless to say, that hurt. Cats were moving the ball, finding some offense, down by 2 scores. Felt like they had a chance to get in and get some momentum with still half of the third quarter still to play. You're going to have to really find it now.
Yeah, now you're down by 3 scores. And the most they've, with about this same amount of time left in that Bentonville game, they were able to score 21 points to finish that game and come from behind. So it's not impossible, but the way this Bryant offense has been playing, you got a tough task ahead of you, and you're going to have to score on this. You're going to have to score every time out.
Short kickoff. It's muffed. It's loose. You got players on both sides saying that it's their ball. The officials are saying,
they're not they're not responding. If you just listen to the Bryant crowd, you would think that they recovered it, but the officials are not calling it that way.
Conway fans in front of us making some noise, reacting to the Bryant fans. Buck James walking out to get an explanation. So 6:44 to play in the third quarter. Cats trailing by 23. Gonna have to chip away at it here. Quarter and a half still to go.
Good news is that Conway was moving the ball effectively on that last possession.
And there's a flag on their head coach, Buck James, and he is animated, and he might be very close to being kicked out of this game. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And then you see the way that their crowd and the way their fans, players are reacting to this? Well, this game just got a whole lot more interesting and a whole lot more emotional than it already was. You can't tell, the public address announcer riling things up over there. Welcome to Bryant.
That's a pretty. And he's still going with the official over there. I mean, he should have been thrown out.
Absolutely. I'm absolutely shocked.
The fact that he's still on the sidelines and still giving it to him. Those officials, I don't know why they're being so lenient.
All of that, 1st and 10. And Brooks, I know, helped us out with the play earlier. Maybe you can give us an explanation there. What constitutes being kicked out? Well, Giovanni Johnson was amped up, wasn't he? He threw that pass, 50 yards, but it went 10 yards past Nick Richmond. So 2nd down and 10. Six and a half to play. 2nd down and 10. Five wideouts for the Wampus Cats. Johnson, pressured, rolls, directing traffic and throws. Will McKenna makes the catch, steps out of bounds at the 49-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short.
Giovanni continuing to run for his life tonight. Able to extend plays long enough. Good job by these receivers to keep improvising routes out there.
Hornet players pointing at the scoreboard. I get the feeling we haven't seen the last tense moment tonight. 3rd down and short, 3rd and 2. Giovanni Johnson, enough for the 1st down. Move the chains for the Wampus Cats. It's a Conway Regional Health System 1st down. Well, all of that just happened, if anything, it brought everyone on this side to a heightened sense of anticipation, of anxiousness, of immediacy. I mean, everything is right now at the forefront of this game when it felt like 26-3, we'll let the last quarter and a half roll out. It's I got a feeling there's more to come. Giovanni Johnson. That's Kerry McLean.
The participation level of the crowd has definitely amped up
Very
on both
much.
sides.
Yes, yeah. Second down and 9.
You know, it's funny you mentioned the PA announcer because I've been thinking about him all night too because it's like he's color commentating out there as well. It's been interesting.
Giovanni Johnson runs near side. Right down at the 42, out of bounds. White Hat comes over and gets some of the Wampus Cat players out of the way. Or excuse me, Hornet players out of the way. Giovanni Johnson down on the sideline. Jacob Walton Connor talking to him. And now Giovanni back in.
You can see him holding on to his jersey, trying to keep him there a little bit longer.
Yeah.
It's like he wasn't satisfied with what he was seeing on the sideline.
3rd down and 7. Third down. Giovanni looks to throw and does. Incomplete, intended for Nick Richmond. Fourth down and 7.
Yeah, I think you got to go for it at this point. I mean, it's just you're not going to have that many more opportunities.
You do, and you mentioned it earlier, just it becomes a numbers game. It's possessions versus points. And you've got possession, you got to find a way to get points. Luke Williams will join Nick Richmond, Will McKenna, and Bryce Bohannon on the far side. Shane Smith is to the near side. 4th down and 7. Conway calls timeout. We'll take it with them. 30 seconds and we're back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
From setting the budget to signing the papers, we guide you through the home buying process and get you the key. Making better happen with First Security.
So the timeout is complete. And Brooke Smith, who is our resident expert on all things rules, I was mentioning, I'm surprised to see that Buck James wasn't ejected from the game, just the way he was on the field, the way he was acting. It just seemed like they get a lot of opportunities to stay in the game if that was the case. And Brooke said it's a judgment call. It's got to be really egregious for them to kick out a head coach. He says he's seen it once in 15 years. So we didn't see it tonight either. All right, 4th down and 7.
Listen, if I'm an official and someone's getting up on me like that.
Bad snap, and Giovanni falls on it at the 47-yard line, and that's where the Hornets will take over 1st and 10.
Not what you wanted to see coming out of a timeout. It's been a tough night for your Wampus Cats.
We saw Tez Miller injured earlier, and he is not in the game. Darius Washington, his backup, is in, number 5 on the near side. Hornets up 26-3. Ledbetter throws, complete. Brandon Jett on the catch. And it's 1st and 10 for the Hornets.
I had kind of hoped coming into this game that maybe we'd catch Bryant still thinking about that North Little Rock loss.
Well, and honestly, when they went up 26-3, it hit me. What are the chances of them giving up 21-point leads in back-to-back weeks? Probably not all that good. And they are not showing anything that would indicate that could happen tonight.
Tony Pasalacqua limping off the field. Also met Tony.
At church?
Yeah.
Nice.
I was walking in to pick up my eldest son.
Yes.
And this woman at the front stopped me and said, "Are you Levi?" And I thought, oh, that's not good.
No. Your son's a mess.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. But it was the son I knew wouldn't be trouble. Now, I have another son who, he can be a little troublesome. But she said, "No, I'm Tony's mom."
Nice.
I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you."
29-yard touchdown run for Ahmad Adams. And with 4:09 to play in the 3rd quarter, the Hornets an extra point away from making it a 30-point game. And as Stats is pointing out, dangerously close to the sportsmanship rule being kicked in. (33-3). Bryant has the lead. 30 seconds and we're back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
Helton's Wrecker U-Haul has the service you need. Whatever the automotive problem, Helton's has the diagnostics to repair it. If you're moving across town or across country, Helton's is your #1 choice for U-Haul in Conway. We have a wide selection of packing supplies for every aspect of your move. Also, we sell and install hitches. Call 327-4696 for a quote. At Helton's Wrecker U-Haul, we are always on our toes. Give us a call at 327-7681.
It is all Bryant tonight, leading 33-3. Updated some of the scores from around the state of interest. Northside has taken a 10-point lead over Southside, 17-7. North Little Rock on top of Cabot, still 14-7 there. The Bentonville West game still 17-3 with Bentonville on top. The winner gets the 1 seed, the loser the 2 seed from the 7A West. Nice return from Shane Smith. Team's leading kick returner. Get some good field position for the Wampus Cats. And with the way that the Hornets are moving the ball, we've got to put points on the board on this drive, or they are a drive away from putting this one away.
It's a lot to learn from this game. I mean, obviously we know Bryant's great. They're talented.
And you know what else? I just want to add this real quickly. It's their senior night, and so there's a lot of emotion anyway, but it feels like it is ramped up even more because of that.
Yeah. So all that set aside, Conway just hasn't played well tonight.
That's true.
You know, in all 3 phases. And there's things that they can definitely improve as they get ready for whatever comes next.
There's that jet sweep to Bryce Bohannon to the 48-yard line. Green on the stop, and it's 2nd down. So once again, if the Wampus Cats lose tonight, they will be at home next Friday night, a week from tonight. First round of the state playoffs, a home game against the 6th seed from the West, which every indication was that was going to be Van Buren, but they are leading Springdale, and so we'll keep an eye on that and see if that's still what happens. Bryce Bohannon, the intended receiver from Giovanni Johnson, but it was incomplete, and it's 3rd down and 5.
So since Conway kicked the field goal in the 2nd quarter to make it 6-3, Bryant has scored 27 unanswered points.
Most of the damage on the ground. There, of course, was the pick 6 as well. But these 2 running backs, Latavian Scott and Ahmad Adams, really, really good. And they have played a lot of this game without their starting quarterback. Ren Heffley injured and out of the game. 3rd down. Complete. Bryce Bohannon makes the catch. Tackled at the 44-yard line. Move the chains for the Wampus Cats. Kyle Green on the stop.
Conway now 6 of 14 on 3rd downs. That's been a key stat tonight, kind of telling the story for this offense. Because 3 of those have come here in this quarter alone.
Nick Richmond makes the catch and steps out of bounds in front of the defender Andrew Hayes. It'll be 2nd down.
That's a nice catch by Nick Richmond as he's cutting out towards the sideline. The ball thrown just a little bit behind him. He's able to very acrobatically turn his body the other way. Nice hands to haul it in.
Trips to the far side. Kerry McLean stands behind Giovanni Johnson as they await the call from Coach Brian Rainey. Quick pass into the hands of Will McKenna, but then a big hit. The Bryant defender gets up talking.
Another stat that's been very telling tonight. Kerry McLean over 1,000 yards rushing, just 18 yards.
Yeah. On how many carries?
Only 7.
Okay. Third down and 5. Johnson throws for Nick Richmond, but sails it over his head. Basically throwing from the near hash mark all the way across the field, 25 yards down the field, and it was incomplete. So 4th down and 5, 2:38 to play in the 3rd quarter. Five wideouts for Conway. Trailing big tonight, 33-3. Giovanni Johnson, a great job to come up with how about that? Snap was not, well, he didn't handle it well. Came away with it. Makes the throw. Bryce Bohannon makes the catch and move the chains. I know Coach Fempel said we'd see some different looks and some wrinkles, but I don't think that that's what he was talking about.
That kind of just sums up the night, though. I mean, that's
Yes.
how hard it's been for anything to go the way it's meant to be.
33-3. 1st and 10. Coming up on the 2-minute mark of the third quarter. Looking for Nick Tufu. Incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Nick a little.
Is it
slow
complete?
To get up.
I think it was complete. There was really no indication. Stats confirming it was a catch, so give Nick Tufu the catch, his 4th on the season. 4 catches now for 31 yards on the year for Nick Tufu. Giovanni Johnson steps up from the pressure and is brought down at the 25-yard line by Kawan Robinson. Well, the good news is we're going to be on the opposite side of the bracket from these guys. So we won't have to see them again until the state championship game.
Oh, man. No kidding.
And they've looked good tonight. Third down. Johnson over the middle. The timing has just not been there tonight. That lack of timing has a whole lot to do with the pressure that he's been feeling, I'm sure. 4th down.
He's been limping a little too. So you know he's not at 100%. He's taken so many shots tonight.
Fourth down, steps out of the pressure, throws. Looking for him. Touchdown to Nick Richmond. Giovanni Johnson, man, he's really playing a good game. As hard as it is tonight.
Nick's down.
And Nick Richmond is down the back of the end zone.
And that's all arm right there. You can see the way the defender rolled up his legs here.
Did he grab onto the back of his jersey too? And
they're both down.
I don't know if we can see that again, if we still have the replay. Nick is holding his knee. Conway fans asking for a late hit. Here's that play.
Giovanni just improvising, making things happen. That's just all arm right there.
So he slung it from the 33 about 5 yards deep. That's tough. A lot of momentum, obviously. A lot of guys on both sides working their way down the field. I don't know if anything really could have been done to avoid injury on either side. The Bryant Hornet player helped up and going off the field. That is Christian Kane, number 24. Senior Nick Richmond made the touchdown catch. His 5th on the year. Clearly in a lot of pain. Brian Rainey out there along with Coach Fempel. Buck James, head coach for Bryant, out there as well. Jacob Walton Connor, one of the athletic trainers for the Wampus Cats. They're going to help Nick up into a sitting position. Brooke Mines there also, and they do such a fantastic job taking care of our athletes. And they're going to, Coach Rainey and Jacob will help him off the field.
Too many Wampus cats getting banged up tonight. It's been a hard night.
Yeah. Now, Tez Miller has not been back. You would assume that probably seen the last of Nick Richmond for tonight. Hopefully get him better as soon as possible, preferably by next Friday if that's the Cats' next game. Coach Kendrick coming out there, and they're going to lift him and carry him off the field.
Great effort by Nick.
Yes.
Amazing effort by Giovanni to buy enough time, and like we said, I mean, really couldn't plant his feet. It's just all arm.
That was about a 38-yard flick of the wrist. Extra point goes through for Will Hogue, and our score is 33-10. 34 seconds to play in the third quarter. We're back in 30 seconds on Conway Corp Channel 5.
At Conway Regional, every day brings new challenges and celebrations. And one of those celebrations is being named the #1 hospital in Central Arkansas for coronary bypass surgery and cardiac care. While we're proud of our awards, our team is driven by something more. You. You're our #1. And for us, that's the #1 worth celebrating. One team, one promise. Conway Regional.
All right, 33-10 is our score, 33-10. Wampus Cats getting on the board here in the second half for the first time. And now Will Hogue is going to kick off following the touchdown. Wondered if we would see an onside kick, and we will not. Let's see what the Cats have got in them. Hayes is brought down. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Hornets. Pet band here tonight, doing a nice job. Finally have something to be a little peppy about.
Right.
Hasn't been a lot.
First touchdown coming almost 3 full quarters into the game.
Bryant will stay on the ground, which is probably a good move. Latavian Scott, their starting running back. Over 1,000 yards in the first 8 games of the season. And I say first 8 games, but you know, this Bryant team really has had an odd start to the season, and we'll tell you more about that, our start to the season. An odd season in total, which we'll tell you more about when we get to that in the fourth quarter. All right, we've played 3 quarters. Bryant has the lead over Conway, 33-10. It is time now for our buddy Mason Choate and the Wampus Cat Report. Mason.
Thanks, Jeff. Congratulations to the volleyball team who beat Fort Smith Southside to win the state championship, thanks to strong play from Carly Ferguson, who won the tournament MVP. The swim and dive team had their first meet on Thursday at UCA. The boys swim team is led by senior AJ Maynard, and the boys dive team is led by senior Blake Hopkins, while the girls team is led by senior Allie Rogers. The boys and girls cross country team had their state meet today in Hot Springs. The girls team is led by Kate Frey-Altenhoven, and the boys team is led by Cade Swindle. Congratulations to both teams on a great season. For Wampus Cat Athletics and Channel 5, I'm Mason Choate.
Thank you, Mason. Mason Choate doing our Wampus Cat Report. Congratulations to the Lady Cat volleyball team. State champs last Saturday morning.
Great. I was watching the Conway Wampus Cats Twitter feed.
Yes.
Saturday, and you know, I mean, other than the one set that they just barely lost, they were pretty dominant,
yeah.
And that was against the Southside team that came into Conway and beat them earlier in the year.
Yep.
Very
Huge
impressive.
win. Quarterback keep. That's Ledbetter, brought down by Malik Benton at the 35-yard line. On second down, that's enough to move the chains. 1st and 10 for the Bryant Hornets. .23 advantage for the Hornets.
You expect things to just slow down for them. They're still snapping it with a lot of time left on that play clock.
Latavian Scott, he's found the end zone 3 times tonight. Another big run for Scott there. Cade White brings him down. Roman Aaron there also. So 1st and 10. That's Adams. Ahmad Adams. He is big and he is quick into the end zone. 49-yard touchdown run for Ahmad Adams, his second of the night.
Just been gashing this defense all night.
Yeah, most of their success has been between the tackles. There has been very little that they've found on the outside. They haven't needed to.
Yeah, over 250 yards rushing now.
Scholes to attempt the extra point. Lead back up to 30. 11:15 to play in the game. We'll take 30 seconds and come back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
When Conwegians cry out for programming freedom, a legend will rise to bring power to them all. Ninja 2. See the interface that has critics raving. Sleek new look. Love the customizable menu and filters. Whoa, there's my Netflix. Ninja 2, powered by Conway Corp. Now playing on a screen near you.
$11:15 to play in the game. It's 40-10. So, yes.
Both Bryant running backs over 100 yards now. Scott, 21 carries, 182, 3 touchdowns. Adams, 8 carries, 109 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It's pretty good backfield there for your Hornets.
As stats put it, both have gone over a hundy.
A hundy, yes.
That's how I put it. It's true.
Direct quote.
Tweet that. Both have gone over a hundy. Yeah, they have been impressive tonight. And clearly came in with something, some sort of a mission to continue what's been a 3-year dominating run over the Wampus Cats, to bounce back from a terribly disappointing loss a week ago. Just the rivalry of this game anyway. Doesn't matter if it always comes down. It's always important. It's been that way, it feels like, every year for 18 seasons.
Even even when we were both when we were in that weird 7A 6A Central nonsense, and there were only 3 games a year that mattered, even then it was always this game.
That's right. Well, 1st and 10 here with 11 minutes to go, and Nick McEwen is going to come in, and he is going to play quarterback the rest of the way. It looks like the Cats are going to be at home next week to open the state playoffs. Kerry McLean with the run there. And we will start to pay a whole lot more attention to what is going on between Springdale and Van Buren, because it is obvious that we will be playing one of those 2 teams. And the score right now between Van Buren and Springdale,
21-17. Springdale has come from behind.
Yes, they have.
To take the lead in the 4th quarter.
Okay, and the way that shakes out is if Springdale loses, they would be the 6th seed. Van Buren loses, they would be the 6th seed. So it's pretty simple in that regard. The loser of that game looks like is going to be locked into that 6th seed. So we'll keep an eye on that. Looks like we're not going to be able to come back in this one. So we'll start to focus ahead, see who we're going to play. Is it going to be Van Buren? Casey Dick is their first-year head coach. Or is it going to be Springdale, led by Zach Clark, who we have had quite a history with, including playing at their place a year ago to open the season.
Yeah, 1917 loss, yeah. I don't really see them as a 6 seed or a 5 seed, especially after the way they started.
That's
4-0.
right. Kerry McLean, boy, what a good run by Kerry. He's had a great year. Went over 1,000 yards on the season last week. Keeps adding to that.
And the way tonight has gone, I mean, it's been disappointing, obviously. But there's still so much to play for. I mean, we were one of the top 4 teams in the state last year, and we finished third in the 7A Central. It could very easily turn into that situation again this year. But you're going to have to play a lot better at home next week.
There's Luke Bailey trying to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Part of being able to play better next week is the fact that you're not going to play these Bryant Hornets
that's
again.
Right. Quick move through the line of scrimmage there, and it's going to be third down. Third down and 13.
Conway 6 of 16 tonight on third downs.
Not sure the amount of time, but in Van Buren, the Pointers have come back and they have taken the lead, 24-21 over Springdale. Again, we will play the loser of that game a week from tonight. Bailey makes the stop on third down. Luke Bailey on the carry for the Wampus Cats, and it's fourth down, 4th and 13. 7.5 to play. In Bryant tonight, it has been all Hornets from the start. This Bryant team will get exactly what Buck James talked about in this morning's Democrat Gazette. He said, we want to win. We want to be the 2 seed. Talked about the odd season that they've had. Tonight is their 10th game, but they've only played 8 games to this point. They missed half of the Salt Bowl game just into the third quarter. That game was eventually called because of safety concerns following the incident that happened at War Memorial Stadium. And then in the first game of the conference season, it was storms that sent everybody home with just about a minute left in the first half. So they played just about a minute short of a half of the game against Northside, and they played a minute into the second half against Benton. So they've missed 2 complete halves of football this year. And
well, no wonder they look so fresh.
Well, that's just not fair, is it?
Right? It's a disadvantage for Conway.
Ledbetter's pass incomplete. But it has been an interesting season for this Bryant team. Starting the season with the Salt Bowl and huge crowd, and then the incident that happened, of course, that just led to chaos. And it also led to a lot of changes in security when you come to games here. We were wanded as we came into the game, and I've been coming to games here for a long time, and I never remember that.
Yeah, well.
And I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it too, but it was just strange. They didn't even check my bag, but they wanted me. It was very strange.
He did ask me what was in my boots. And I said, well, I've got on thick socks and feet. That's all that I had in my boots. He laughed, so he wasn't disappointed in that.
So as you can see, yes, new security policies, but not sure how strenuous they are.
6:41 to play in the game. It's a 30-point game, and we're talking about wanding procedures. Pass complete. Aldridge makes the catch. Caden Smith in on the stop. Isaac Crow out there also for the Wampus Cats.
One Bryant player taking a knee over there. I don't know what.
Oh, that is odd, isn't it? Is he stretching out a hamstring or something? Handoff to the 38-yard line. Braylon Butler on the carry. So one way or the other, the Wampus Cats are hosting a team from Northwest Arkansas coached by a former Razorback next week. Pass is tipped and tipped and tipped and falls incomplete. Zach Clark, former Razorback. Obviously he and Casey Dick both spent time at Arkansas, both spent time at UCA, or this is where I get confused. I know Zach's dad was the coach at UCA for a while.
Yeah.
Dave Clark, right? Or is it not Dave Clark?
It's it was the former baseball coach,
yeah.
right?
Is it
Doug
Dave?
Clark.
Doug Clark. Dave Clark had a band back in the 50s.
Okay.
Doug Clark. And then
Casey
Dick's
brother,
Nathan Dick.
Yeah. Played quarterback at UCA.
Played quarterback at UCA. We're like an old married couple, you and me, Levi. Just finishing each other's sentences, complaining about procedures and eating.
We do talk about the weather a lot.
We do.
Yeah.
And you know, this is the thing. It makes it because we love these Wampus Cats and we love the fans and the parents and the whatnot. That when things go like they go tonight, it makes us sad. I want it to go better, and it'll go better next week. And an update from Van Buren, Springdale has scored. So now Springdale has the lead, and it looks like, well, for now, Van Buren would be the team that we'd be playing next week.
It's like they're saying neither one of us want to go to Conway.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be that way because it's nice here.
Well, one of them get to go to Fort Smith, right?
That's correct.
So I mean, that's a much better trip for them,
right.
For both of them.
Yeah, either one. The Fort Smith would be a much better trip. Ledbetter looks to throw. Incomplete. 4.5 to play in the game.
Bryant just wanting to keep digging that dagger in deeper and deeper. They're still throwing with a 30-point lead here.
Yep.
4 minutes to go.
There's the band. Doing a nice job. Pet band in town tonight. Third down and 11. They will have 2 weeks to get their starting quarterback back in action. Peyton Hicks there in coverage. Flag comes in along the line of scrimmage on the near side.
I think that Bryant player in motion might have moved a little too early.
And that is going to be the call. You see the official looking for Coach Fimple. See what he wants to do. Third down. Now fourth down because they'll decline the penalty. So Ledbetter, who handles the punting duties, as well as being the backup quarterback for Ren Heffley, will step back and punt the ball away. Bryce Bohannon will let it roll, and that also encapsulates the entire night. A punt that bounces and rolls out of bounds at the 3-yard line. 4:14 to go in the regular season.
So here's what I'm thinking about
for
this Conway team as they prepare to host a playoff game. Defensively, some of the worst angles we've seen all night. Now, I know a lot of that has to do with how fast and how strong these Bryant running backs were. But, I mean, some of it was just, not very good technique.
Yeah.
So those are all things that can be fixed. Offensively, just the inability to sustain drives. And we've seen that happen a couple times to this team throughout the season.
Luke Bailey on the carry.
Even so much as, just a little bit of struggles with the snap tonight, which that hasn't been an issue all
and
season.
We have played some games in some awful conditions. And we haven't mentioned tonight because there's really nothing worth mentioning. It's just a clear, cold night. But certainly no rain or anything. But yeah, you're right. We've seen some struggles. Not there. How about Luke Bailey? Pull away from him, Luke. Luke to the 30. Brought down from behind at the 20, at the 18-yard line. Big run for Luke Bailey. And move the chains for the Wampus Cats. Sat in front of Luke's grandmother at the blue-white game on Tuesday night. And she tapped me on the shoulder and she said, I wanted you to know something for your broadcast. And I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, Luke's grandfather played on the state championship Wampus Cat team back in the 60s.
Oh, wow.
And his dad played for the Wampus Cats also. So Luke is a third-generation Wampus Cat with a huge run there, and he will be the primary back next year, you would assume. Just a junior, Luke Bailey. That very unique running style. He gets low, runs hard. Looked good on that run.
It's a very smart run, too, because he was going straight for the official. He's like, I need an extra blocker. I got no one out here, so I'm going to use the official. And it almost worked.
Coming up on 3 minutes to play. Cats trying to find the end zone for the second time tonight. They kicked a field goal to make it 6-3. And even when they were trailing 18-3, driving the ball down the field, looked like they were going to have a chance to score, make it a one-score game. But it was a pick six by the senior Jacob Neal, and the route was on.
You know who I ran into Halloween? Well, it was our Halloween, but it was actually the night before Halloween, rain, all that
yeah,
stuff.
It was a mess.
Jim Files.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I ran into him
Nice.
in the neighborhood. We were having Halloween, and
Yeah.
he was very complimentary of the broadcast. Said it sounds like we're having a lot of fun. I said, well, it's been a fun season
It has
because we
been a fun
have a
season.
fun team.
Yeah.
And he said, I think Bryant's it's going to be tough. And I said, well, yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to take our best game. And we just definitely didn't play our best game tonight.
No.
But I'm not discouraged because I know that we can play better.
Well, this team will learn. I mean, that's one thing about them. They have shown the ability to make adjustments. A lot of times those have been in the same night. We've seen them make adjustments at halftime and be able to play completely differently in the second half of games. They'll have a few days here, a week to be exact. They'll know really within the next half hour probably who they're going to be playing. Again, Springdale has the 4-point lead over Van Buren, over in Van Buren. Pass for the corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Nick McEwen throws it over there on fourth down. And so the Bryant offense will take their spot back on the field. Minute 23 to play.
Well, I'll be honest. I'm hoping Springdale pulls it out. I just don't see them as a 6 seed. They've played so much better than a 6 seed earlier in the season. I think I'd much rather Van Buren come to town.
Van Buren trailing right now by 4. We're not sure exactly how much time there is left to play in that game. But the loser will be the 6 seed, and they will travel next week to take on the Wampus Cats. And then that's going to put the Wampus Cats matched up. Another run to the 18-yard line. And then the way the Cats will be on the side of the bracket.
Yeah, Bentonville leading Bentonville West 24-7 in the fourth quarter. So it looks like they're going to hold on to that 1 seed.
So Bentonville has the lead?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, BV West, Bentonville West would be the team that we would travel to face 2 weeks from tonight. And Springdale has just scored another touchdown, so it is looking more and more like that is going to be the case. Another big run by the Hornets.
Can you imagine we take care of business next week against what looks to be Van Buren?
Van Buren, right.
Then we go to Bentonville West. What a game we played against them in the second round of the playoffs a year ago.
And they have got their home stadium now. It's on their campus out there in Centerton. They've got their starting quarterback back, Will Jarrett, who is as good as anybody. They've got that outstanding receiver, Jackson, who is committed to play college football at Ole Miss. So, yeah, it gets no easier. But one thing at a time. We'll get on the bus here in a few seconds and head home and get ready for next week. And, again, it does look like it's going to be Van Buren, as it is a 10-point lead right now for Springdale over Van Buren, as that one is coming towards the end of the game. As is this one. The Cats are going to finish the regular season 8-2. Their 2 losses, North Little Rock and Bryant. Last year, same situation. In fact, since we lost to Springdale in week 1 last year, the only losses this team has had has been to North Little Rock and to Bryant. 40-10, Bryant gets the victory. They will be the 2 seed. Conway's the 3. Levi, your final thoughts.
Well, we've kind of been recapping it throughout, but Conway just got to get back to the basics this week as they prepare to host what looks to be Van Buren. Just shake this loss off. Don't be too discouraged. You know you can play much better than you played here tonight. We've seen that, and the journey's just starting next week.
Yep. Well, and again, like we talked about following the North Little Rock loss, every goal this team had is still there. Everything that this team wants to play for is still in front of them. In fact, there's probably going to be a different sense of urgency about what this team does from the time that they get on the bus until we tee it up next Friday night. Final score 40-10. Bryant gets the win over Conway. We will be live from John McConnell Stadium next Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff for the opening round of the state playoffs. Thanks for watching, everybody, and good night.